millions and millions of dollars have been spent here over the last 10 years by Democrats who are hell-bent on that blue wave in Texas. That has a cumulative effect. And if you think races like just going to be a walk in the park because we're Texas, you got another thing coming. I mean, when I ran in 2020, it was the most competitive district in the state. And I remember, trying to ask people for their support, trying to ask people to make sure that they go to the polls, that host meet and greets for me. And people looked at me like, you've got this, no problem. Like, why are you even concerned? We're in Texas. And I'll tell you, we barely won that race because we had so much money, almost $17 million coming in, most of it from other states, trying to take Texas. So we are getting organized. We're already organized, but we've got to make sure that we bring out people to vote. And I loved Sebastian's last set with you, talking about call people that may not come out to vote, that politics is not on the top of their mind. We have got to get everybody to the polls and understand.
Come on.
You can see, I'm trying to put myself in the mind of a Democratic strategist's mind trying to win the map. And you can nitpick and try to pick up these little states, or you can put all your eggs in one basket and flip Texas, and then you win them all, essentially. So what do the Democrats have going for them in the future? So like demographically or whatever. What's happening in Texas that makes it a possibility?
You got the media on your side. That's for one thing, is everything that you're seeing, is being driven, by just a short number of a list of companies, that are driving people to Democrats. Just look at the debate that we just saw. You are seeing changing demographics, but I'll tell you, when you start looking at Hispanics that are moving into our state, they tend to be much more Republican. They tend to be much more conservative in that they care about things like family. They care about things like God. They care, have a strong work ethic. I mean, these are people that I when I was mayor, when I was in the city council in Irving, we had one of the most diverse zip codes in the country, but they want everything that we want. We want to have schools that our kids can go to that we trust are going to have teachers who are looking out for their best interests. We want to have communities that they can walk home from school and feel safe. People want to have opportunities. They want to have jobs. They don't want to live in an environment where businesses are controlled by the government and all of this constant regulatory environment. Those are things that I think as Republicans we need to make sure that we're constantly talking about. We did a poll last week in Texas 24. Obviously, the top two issues, what would you guess? What do you think they are that everybody's talking about?
Immigration, crime, inflation.
And crime, immigration, what's going on at the border was number one. Number two was the cost of living.
Yeah.
Sit here talking about the economy, but if you are somebody who's got two jobs, you're looking at for a gallon of milk. How much now I'm paying for a gallon of gas. And those are things that people can understand. When you see cost of living, you're like, holy cow, look at what I'm paying now versus 4 years ago. And then they start looking at crime. They start looking at what's happening in the suburban women who may be offended what happened under the Biden administration to their kids in their schools. In the hotel, regardless of whether or not it's a well-managed hotel. That it's an easy target, but you've got an easy target by people who should never be in this country to begin with. And we have been working in North Texas. It's no stranger to international crime gangs. Texas, let's face it, is definitely on the border, but Mexican cartel activity and human trafficking have risen so much in the last 3.5 years. You've got 15 million people in our country that should not be here. But I can tell you, when you start talking to the sheriffs and you start talking to the police, we do this on a regular basis. Since Biden took office, they will tell you that there is a dramatic increase in human and drug trafficking. They will tell you firsthand. So these folks should never be here. When you have Venezuelan gangs that are taking over our apartment complexes, and you've got police that are...
It's a bad area there, right in the middle of the village.
To enforce the law because they have a sanctuary city policy. That stuff has been happening for years, and again, it's just cumulative.
Should be coming back.
It's almost like during COVID, it was like they tried to test the fences, right? How much can we put down on American people? How much are they willing to put up with? And it's a cumulative effect, and we're seeing it. But this what's happening at the border, what's happening in North Texas, what you're seeing in Aurora, Colorado, what you're seeing in places in Illinois and New had in the last 3.5 years of an open border policy through Biden and Harris. And, for Harris to say she's going to do this on day one, how many, 1,000 plus days has she been in office and it still hasn't happened? We've seen this destruction. It's only getting worse.
Of course, I can't, it's in the same world, I still can't get over the fact that someone's in Venezuela, so a gang member in Venezuela, member of this prison gang, they want to leave Venezuela for whatever reason. And they think, where should I go? And they choose Aurora, Colorado, or they choose Texas, or we talked to a congressman from, Tiffany from Wisconsin about an hour ago. And
no worries. This is just for the drive to work.
That illegal.
That's what I use this channel for, mostly driving.
In Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Right?
We'll probably have a live stream from work.
It will put them on a plane wherever they want to go, and the NGOs are being supported by taxpayer dollars. They are giving them cash cards. They're providing them with health care, with clothes, with bus tickets, plane tickets, and phones in some cases. And this is an incentive that we're seeing. And of course, you're not getting. I love the line. Well, no, these are just people who are looking for a better way of life. I can tell you, the 15 million people. You have people who have come over from the terrorist watch list. You've got people who are coming over from Mexican cartels. You've got the president of Mexico who is fine to have them come into our country. He is not working to shut down that border or work with the Biden administration at all. He is happy to have them come into our country. And you see that increase in crimes. And you have to think to yourself, why is this happening? And at the end of the day, it's happening because of power. They want to have, the Democrats want to have more of those areas. They were losing voters who are voting with their feet and leaving their communities. They were losing congressional districts. They lost a congressional seat in California. They lost one in New York. They gained one in Texas, Florida. That's where we're seeing people move. They have got to fill their population in order to keep their congressional seats. You've heard Yvette Clark from New York talk about it. You've heard others talk about it. This is all about maintaining power. Forget about the people the moms that you have seen, the innocent college women who are being raped and murdered. This is going to continue because at the end of the day, they want that population growth. And it's, Trump tried to remove that line. If you are here illegally, you should not count in the census. Democrats put it right back in.
So I can't get over the fact that there's a Venezuelan gang member, let alone many, in Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin. It's like, what? Why would that? So you just articulately explained why the Democrats want that guy there. Why does he want to be there? What is he doing? Like, you would think out of all the places in the world, this would be the last place you would want to be, would be the United States of America. I know there's a lot of stuff to steal here, but also you would think that we would be a place that would put these people in jail, right? You would not want to go here. You want to go to a lawless place, but I guess this is the lawless place.
Well, you think about how much of an easy target. And what's the messaging that folks, in Venezuela have been hearing, and Mexico have been hearing about the U.S.? They see it. You've got gang members who are attacking police who are let go, or were put out of jail. There's no consequences anymore, and that is the messaging that the rest of the world is seeing that is happening on our streets across the country. When we say every state is a border state, you've got planes, you've got buses who reach the far corners, not just at the southern border, but you can get to New York, you can get to Washington, you can get to Wisconsin. I mean, that's not hard to do now, especially at taxpayer expense, and they're popping you on a plane when you're not even having to have a court date, when you're doing a catch and release program. We have the Biden administration, the Biden-Harris administration has knowingly caught gang members and released them back into our population.
we have a tough time finding anyone who can work here who is not on drugs or whatever. So we have these 30 Haitians, and they do great. What do you say to that guy and to the PBS NewsHour who says, well, here, look, these 30 Haitians are doing great. It's helping this business. So what's the problem with 20,000 more?
Well, the fact is they've got 15 million that we cannot support right now. And I'll tell you the strain that they have on the local community.
Is that hello?
You know, you don't know who's
Oh, I thought that was hilarious.
You have no idea.
He took the bait, too.
These are the best of the best. These are hard workers. These are people
halal bacon.
The day one that you open up a new school, it's already full because you don't know who's living in your community.
Like kosher bacon.
At the ERs and how healthcare is dispersed. You don't have the ability to be able to plan for that when you don't know who's in your towns. And the cost at that level is where the brunt of the cost is at the community level, not the federal level. And they are shipping tons of money to places like New York, who's setting up these tent cities, for their immigrants, but it's at the local level. So while I would argue, yes, it's easy, cheap labor, it's not the way that we should be looking at it. We have a cultural problem where we've been paying people to stay at home. They don't feel like they actually have to work in some cases. We have got to bring that work ethic back, recognizing the fact that the government is not entitled to the program. You don't want to be dependent on the government. To have more kids, they don't want that. It ends up being cyclical, and we just see it from generation after generation. We don't want that. We want to give people an opportunity to get a job. We want to give people an opportunity to be able to leave well for their families, to be able to succeed, to be successful. All of that happens when you have an asset like Texas, where you recognize the fact that American businesses are strong, and by bringing those businesses into your back to you, the idea that we're going to pay people to stay at home has got to go away. I don't know how to start other than in our city, in our district, just a couple weeks ago, we had 500 businesses that we signed up for our job fair. We had almost 30,000 people who came out looking for jobs. People want to have jobs. They want to work. We just have to understand, as the politicians, that's what they want. And to feed that as opposed to, handing them out checks or free cell phones.
Yeah, and then screw up the system so bad that, we just have to bring in Haitians to do it. It's like, what? What are you talking about? Congresswoman Bethany Dine represents District in Texas, and also chairing this victory committee to make sure that Texas always stays red. How can people support your efforts, Congresswoman?
Well, they can get out. Obviously, I always leave a challenge at the end of the day when I go to a meet and greet. And I say, all of you in this room are voters. People who are listening to Breitbart are voters. But can you reach out and can you bring 10 people to the polls? I don't care if you have to give them a free lunch, if you have to give them a ride. But can you at least get 10 people out to the polls that normally would not possibly vote? That's one way to start. Start doing block walking. Start volunteering for some of these candidates who desperately need your help. We cannot sit back and just sit on our laurels and assume because we're from Texas that this is going to be an easy ride. Millions of dollars have been spent. Messaging is what it is. Seeing messaging from all the major networks, that are applauding.
Well, this is the safest way to do it.
Vilifying Trump and Ted Cruz. We have got to get these people. We've got to get Ted Cruz reelected. We've got to get President Trump reelected. If we care about the future of our country, about our border security, about our national security, these are all important things. Get out, vote, get other people to vote, work for campaigns, and just keep doing what you're doing and talking about it.
That's great. Ted Cruz told us last week or so. You guys are a victim of your own success. You have all these California companies coming in, and we've got to fight back against those Californians.
What's this guy doing?
And voting California style.
He's got his turning signal on, but he's not turning.
Beth, great to talk to you.
Excellent.
Have a great day. 866-95-PATRIOT. We'll time to wrap up with your phone calls. 866-95-PATRIOT.
Coming over or not?
By the way.
This is Sirius XM Patriot. Our number, 866-957-287. Catch us on social media at Sirius XM Patriot and at David Webb Show.
Listen live weekdays at 9 a.m. East on Sirius XM Patriot. Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically necessary.
Definitely strays. So, got up this morning. You know how the one cat had the ear hematoma? We got another one with it. Fucking ear mites, man. We gotta fucking treat all these cats now. I was just so frustrated. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Boop. Coming over. Coming over. Go ahead, van. Either let him over or fucking get by. Yeah, so another $500 for a fucking cat. Wife knows how frustrated I am over that shit. It's a waste of, man. They may even be in the feeder. I don't know. I don't know where they're getting them. I mean, we've had the windows open a lot just because the weather's been cooler. But none of them. The only animals that go outside are the dogs, and they don't get it. Cats are inside all the time. It's frustrating, but I mean, it's not the cat's fault, but still, it's getting ready to go on vacation next week. Yeah, that's what you say shit like that to my wife, and the divorce papers will be delivered. You know what I'm saying? She's too much of an animal. I mean, almost all of our pets are rescues, so. Really, the only two that aren't is the Maine Coon and the oldest German Shepherd. All the rest are rescues. I mean, we drove that. The middle German Shepherd, we drove all the way down to Kentucky to pick him up. Man, he was in such bad shape when we got him. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's northern Ohio. It's well, we're heading into. I don't live in Toledo. I live in a suburb, a nice suburb of Toledo. But we're heading into the east side of Toledo, where we did right around where we did me and Topher Life did the cop watching the other night. It's where I work. It's only about 40 minutes, 35 minutes from my house. GeoGuessr, yeah. Well, you can look at the signs. You can tell I'm on 75. Yeah, we live about 2.5 hours north of Columbus. Oh, Central? Yeah, it is.
She's also setting a goal of seeing 25 million new small businesses.
Pretty flat around here too, other than by the water and stuff, the rivers. We live right, not too far from the Maumee River, but much farther upriver.
The goal is for 6 million people to start businesses. Like that's not you don't. Why not set a goal for 100 million new business applications? What are you talking about? That's not a goal. You can say it's a goal. You can set a plan.
we'll be visiting PA coming up. Not next week, but the weekend after that. I got to stop by through there and try and get some network equipment. Campers? Okay. Wish I had the time and could afford camping. I loved it when I was a kid. Funny, my dad always made time for it. Every summer. Those jobs are not available anymore.
She never has. Vote for me to turn the page. We want to turn the page for you. It's been worth it.
You didn't start a business to babysit your poorest performing employees. That's exactly why I started my business, so you don't have to. Hi, I'm Alan Jones, founder and CEO of Bambi. I created Bambi so small business owners can take back control of their business. Need to fire a poor performing employee who happens to now want 3 months off? Your Bambi HR manager will take care of that for you in your first week with us. You spend your time coaching your A players, we'll take care of the rest. I'm so confident.
Yeah, he's been to Toledo too. He went to the DMV. They call it a BMV here, but yeah, he went to the BMV here, and they tried throwing him out. But technically in Ohio, they can trespass you from even public buildings. I don't understand how they get away with it, but they can do it. Yeah, I don't remember seeing that. I know he was in a eastern Ohio city too. That's where he had that complaint and everything from that idiot that was flashing the light in his fucking camera. I do want to hit Wendy's this morning though. I haven't had Wendy's all week. Let's get that going now. I drove by there yesterday. I was going to go yesterday, but it was fucking packed. Yeah, it's a big one. There's one across the river too. It's not as big as that, but it's the whole side of it is a huge mural they did right before, like, I guess the city just had its 250th anniversary or something like that for the sesquicentennial, they call it, of the city. Hey, I'm indoctrinated. Guy looks like he's not up to any good. Might just turn the scanner on, see what's going on. apparently. Let's see, what's the guess on how many minutes I'm going to have to be pulled forward today?
420, take a check safety with medical and route to 711 Berry Street.
Oh, wow.
Male caller Austin
See?
states he's feeling suicidal, has no means or plan. That was at 711 Berry Street near Leonard Street, 420.
It's not halal. None of this is going to be halal. Breakfast Baconator time.
Welcome to Wendy's. May I take your order?
Yeah, I have a mobile order for Norm.
Okay, go ahead and pull forward. Thank you.
Nope. Nowhere to pull. Yeah, I like to talk to people as little as possible. I have to do it all day at work, so. And even have to be nice sometimes.
Yeah, 420, just be advised your car's going to be waiting on the porch or to wait.
Well, that real bacon isn't, that's for sure.
Sorry, the white male camel hat, black Home Depot shirt, blue jeans and black boots. He states he has several mental disorders. 420.
This guy's on his fucking phone. Seems like a priority right now. Let's see. Yeah, on his phone, got his geek bar, just like mine. This guy's got cleaner sitting next to his foot, like he's supposed to be out here doing some cleaning on something. He'd rather be on the phone. Really? 2K? For a fucking sensor?
Wait a break. Go ahead, Thurston.
Can you show us en route to, let's say, Summit 101 on 8212 follow-up, please?
Showing you going towards Summit and 1 for a follow-up.
Yeah, you never know when you're gonna be able to do it again till the end of your trip, maybe. Here, let me turn this around. Looking mail. My fucking electric company keeps trying to get me to pay the minimum amount because they do budgeting, but because I've been working so much, I've been making enough to where I just pay off the full balance on stuff. And they keep trying to get me to pay less. I mean, they don't charge interest or anything. I don't understand why they're pushing that. Okay. Like my big usage months, I mean, I would... Oh, 30,000 miles, man. Did you do that? No. I don't understand it. Manager, okay, this is the guy that was outside. He's fucking yakking right here. Their hands are in the air, but he's still on the phone.
Reporting a menace at 831 West Lexus Road. It's McDonald's. Time is 9:07. Are you monitoring Central?
Oh, you see that? I just poured out some. Holy crap. This lady's kooky. Wonder if they're gonna make me pull forward. They had her whole bag ready. They'll make me pull forward. Oh, looks like they didn't even have to pull my credit to get that loan. For my son. Thank you.
41 on Central.
That's the building I work in right in front of me. Thank you.
41 taking exit property damage at 6 Melrose Avenue. It's going to be a bus versus a burgundy Pontiac. That was at 26 Melrose Avenue near Edmonds Lane. 41.
Okay, last intel.
41, be advised, that bus was occupied by 5 students.
Copy.
Fuck. Yeah. Most of them are dying. That was quick though. I mean, the line was long, but they're actually moving. A lot of the students here in Toledo use the city bus too to get to school. It is being rehabbed, yeah.
420, can you repeat?
Well,
We're on scene.
420 on scene.
51 complete. We changed my location to Northwest, please.
51 complete, showing you at Northwest.
All right, y'all. I will be going live on the main channel. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. Peace.
105, Eddie.